When you're managing a massive Adobe Experience Manager instance, eventually you'll need to pull custom data out of it. Instead of forcing authors to navigate complex backend screens, we're going to build a custom report downloader right into the native AEM Tools menu. To do this, we connect three AEM core pieces. First, the JCR acts as the main database tree. Next, the OSGI framework runs backend Java code. Finally, Sling acts as the URL router, directing web requests to either system. Aligning these three systems gives you the blueprint to extend AEM far beyond its out-of-the-box capabilities. Let's start building the interface. AEM's default tools live inside the /libs directory. Modifying anything directly inside /libs is a guaranteed way to cause system failures the next time Adobe pushes an upgrade. We need a safe alternative. Looking at CRXDE Lite, we start at the Core Navigation Tools node. To safely add our option, we right-click this node and select Overlay node. The Overlay node dialog box appears. It is critical that the overlay location is set exactly to the Apps directory. Looking at this directory tree, we can see AEM has safely duplicated that exact nested path for us inside the Apps folder. Inside that new Tools folder, we create a node of type Unstructured to serve as our custom category. This Properties table shows we've assigned it an ID of My Tools and a title of My Tools. Now we create the actual tool node beneath that category. Looking at its properties, the href defines the target path for our script, and the icon value dictates which Adobe Coral icon will display on the card. By following this overlay process, our new custom tool card is successfully injected straight into the native AEM Tools interface, resting right alongside the default options. Now we need a page to display when the user clicks that tool. Instead of writing raw HTML, we'll use Granite UI. This is AEM's framework for generating backend interfaces directly from XML configurations. First, create a new page node in your Custom Components folder. This path must exactly match the href property defined in the previous menu step. This code shows the essential XML structure for the page. At the top, the head node uses a client libs property to load the required Coral UI visual components, so our page looks like AEM. Scrolling down to the content node, we define the main body of the page by setting the resource type to the standard Granite UI foundation container. Next, we nest our interactive items. This block shows the Submit button XML configuration, which automatically renders the polished primary action button you see in the interface preview below it. By utilizing Granite XML, our custom tool perfectly matches AEM's native design language out of the box, without requiring a single line of custom CSS. The front end is built, but that button won't do anything yet. It needs to communicate with the server to process our report. To handle this, we build an OSGI Sling Servlet. This is a backend listener designed specifically to process incoming web requests from our Granite interface. We bind the servlet directly to our UI by declaring a Sling Servlet paths annotation in the Java class, matching the exact URL our front-end button is programmed to hit. Inside the servlet's main method, we write standard Java code to execute an HTTP request, querying an external REST API for the live report data. Once the JSON data arrives, we pass it to the Apache POI library. This formats the raw data into a structured, downloadable byte array. To ensure the user actually gets a file, we configure the servlet to alter the HTTP response headers. Setting the content disposition to attachment forces the user's browser to execute a file download. Our Sling Servlet acts as the critical bridge, translating an abstract stream of API data into a tangible, usable spreadsheet asset for the end user. There's a common trap developers fall into here. You finish your code, run a successful Maven build, to deploy it, and watch your new custom tool completely vanish from the AEM menu. This happens because AEM relies on the project's workspace filter file to determine exactly which file paths are permitted to overwrite the server during deployment. To fix this, look at the workspace filter XML. We must explicitly whitelist our new overlay path. Directly below it, add the specific paths for your tools, client libs, and components to prevent a partial deployment and broken UI. If your tool still isn't showing up, verify that your href path perfectly matches your JCR structure and monitor the main error log inside the system console for missing dependency warnings. Strict filter path management is the only way to guarantee your custom tool survives automated code deployments and server restarts over the long term. Let's walk through the final user experience. Starting from the main AEM navigation rail, we open the Tools section and find our custom My Tools option right at the bottom. Opening that category displays this clean dashboard, where our custom card, labeled Tool 1, renders exactly as we configured it, with its specific icon and description. Clicking into the tool brings us to the fully functional Granite UI shell page. Notice how the header prominently displays the My Tools, Tool 1 title we defined. When the user fills out the form and clicks our Submit button, the Sling Servlet intercepts the request, builds the data, and instantly downloads the generated Excel file to their machine. By combining menu overlays, Granite UI configurations, and backend Java servlets, you can build custom, site-wide functionality that integrates seamlessly into the AEM ecosystem.